Now, as you can ascertain from what I said, we have a formula that they're using. They're not talking to each other. In other words, they have a tacit or unspoken agreement to use the formula. Now, it's got two variables. Formula isn't too good to end up with the exact same price unless those variables are the same. Okay, so one of the things is their wholesale price, their rack price. While if you look on Petro-Canada and Shell for Toronto, they're usually a little bit different. So what they have to do is they have to use one of those, whether let's say it's from Esso or Shell or Petro-Canada. Not so terrific in my mind, okay? Then when it comes to the retail markup, again they have to use a number. In this case they use 7 cents. And now, you can't guarantee it, but what it obviously allows them to do is rather than fight for that 1 penny, 1.5 pennies on as they used to when we had competition, why not add a few more pennies onto this thing? And of course, with the large oil companies, this turns into billions of profit. As you realize, this goes right to the bottom line. So that is a real possibility, and you could probably guess what I think is happening. Okay, so now they do it. They come up with their identical price. Now, people ask, okay, what about, yeah, all right, they had a lot of the stations, and by the way, the big oil companies, about 5 of them are about 85. They have in effect an oligopoly, not a monopoly. It's about 85% of what's sold in Canada. But people say, well, what about the independents? What about those smaller people? What about even some of the Shell and Esso have a little less price going on? What about that? Can't we shop around there? Doesn't that somehow go against your argument? Well, a couple things. One, if just 2 stations, at one Petro station and one Esso station are doing things that aren't right according to the Competition Bureau, that's enough. However, however, in the broader sense, forgetting about how the law works, in the broader sense, what about these guys? All right, I'm going to give you a scenario. You own a company. It's called Mr. Gasoline. All right? And you're in Esso, Petro, Shell are selling at $1 a liter. And yours is, yeah, 2 cents less, 98 cents. You know, people don't recognize the name. They're not all that anxious to maybe go there, and other people are, whatever. So you go in your price a little less, 98 cents. Now imagine, just imagine in your mind that for no reason, it's only an imagination here, for no reason at all, that Petro and Esso and Shell, say, raise it to $1.05. Nothing's changed. It hasn't. The market in New York hasn't changed. It's the weekend. They're not trading it anymore. They don't trade on the weekends. Nothing else has changed. All right, and but they do that anyways. And now you're that little guy. You're Mr. Gasoline. You can keep it at 98 cents. Rather than $1.05, relative to $1.05, even though you're at 2 cents before. But you might say to yourself, you know, there may be some money I'm leaving on the table here. Why? Maybe shouldn't I go up to $1.03? Maybe $1.02.5. You know, why not do that? Okay. In my opinion, that's what's going on. So the Costco's, the independents, and whatever are in effect operating under the umbrella of the oligopoly of the major oil companies that have the ability to put a retail markup on it, whatever they want. And so, in effect, we're all paying more, no matter where you go. All right? And this book, this shirt, this glass, whatever, had to get to some store using gasoline. So Next time you're on the 401 and you have a look at, and you're in a traffic jam and you just think about all those tanks of gasoline that are filled up and the fact that we may be paying more than we should be if we had fair and unfettered competition. Okay. Question then is, what do we do about it? All right? And by the way, just before we do that, just before we talk about what do we do about it, what I want to do, there's also, I have another handout here. And in this handout, it's giving, it's one quote is from, Shell has a website explaining about the price of gasoline. It's a Q&A, all right? And you can go there. I got the link on here. Anybody can go there. And one of the questions says, question number 7, how, it's going to address just what I'm saying here. How does Shell respond to claims about agreement on pricing among competitors? Okay, good question. Terrific question. So let's see what their answer is. We take this matter very seriously, and Shell complies with all federal competition laws. Okay. The Competition Bureau hasn't since they've been doing what I've been describing, they have not, let's say, gone after them. I hate to use that kind of word, but whatever. Okay, I've made a formal complaint to them. They've assigned an officer. I provided them with certain exhibits and some other information. And as you can appreciate, they said, Mr. Kaplan, our investigation is confidential. There will be no updates. So hopefully something's going on. All right. But anyways, until there's actually a lawyer in court, you don't know if it's legal or illegal. It's your opinion that you're legal. My opinion is it's illegal. But hopefully they'll move forward. But after several years now of the same thing going on, they haven't done anything yet. So that's why I'm here. We can't count on any other group doing something. So I'm doing my tiny little bit here too. Okay, they say they comply with all federal competition laws. The explanation is simple. At Shell, we are competitive on price at the local level. So what may look like unlawful collusion, they use those words, from a consumer perspective, is really a highly competitive market working well. Okay, now I might say, what's going on now is exactly as if they phoned each other up the night before and said, you know, why don't we change our prices to be this? From the consumer point of view, prices are identical. And from their point of view, they've put an arbitrary markup. It's 100% equal, but they've used a formula with a couple variables. Okay. Next, I phoned, there's a group called the Canadian Petroleum Products Institute. This is funded by all the major petroleum companies. It's a group that if you have any questions, anybody listening in have any questions, you can phone them. I phoned the president of that group. I left a message. My name is Mr. Kaplan. I like somebody very knowledgeable in this area. They should know about the term conscious parallelism. So please give me a call back. All right, he did. All right, and he started off by saying, well, you have one station is $1.05 and you're at $1.02, and you know you see the number and you raise the number and they change it and they. I said, yeah, that's okay. That's what went on. We had competition. But I said, as you know now, that's not what's happening. At the same minute, the prices are being set by you to be identical. This is not conscious parallelism. This is something entirely different. This is zero competition. Okay,